Hi, this is the English man of EB English Music and welcome to another Studio Talk vlog. Before we get into today's episode, I must make mention of a very important development for South African music. By now, if you're a music maker in South Africa, you must have heard of the big announcement that was made by South Africa's public broadcaster, the SABC. What they decided as of the 12th of May 2016 is that they will implement a 90% South African music policy. Now what that means is, of the music that's played on all 18 of its radio stations, 90% of it will be South African. Now that is great news for South African artists, and they've also now called for more South African artists to submit music. Now, if you have watched episode 11 and 12 of the Studio Talk vlogs, I explain how you need to go about submitting your tracks to radio, as well as the info that you need to include when submitting to radio. Now, I also made mention of the International Standard Recording Code, or the ISRC code. That is important to have, but not all radio stations require it. But since the 90% SA music policy announcement, most radio stations have now asked you to include that code as well. So maybe it would be a good option to obtain your ISRC code for all the songs that you submit to radio. How you obtain that is by visiting the website of the Recording Industry of South Africa, www.risa.org.za. So now let's get back into today's episode, which is part 2 of how to complete your SAMRO forms. In today's episode, we're going to focus on the online registration process. Now, before you can sign up for online registrations, you need to obtain what's known as a relation number. This is different to your membership number, and how you obtain this is by emailing the customer service 24-7@samro.org.za. Now, they usually respond within 48 hours. All you need to do is quote your membership number and maybe your ID number, and they will send your relation number to you. Why this is important is because your relation number will serve as your username when you log into the online portal. Once you have your relation number, go to the website samro.org.za. Then somewhere close to the top of the screen, right of center, you'll find the Portal Login tab. Click on that and it will take you to a new page. On some browsers, it will give you an error message telling you that this website is unsafe. You can ignore that, don't worry about it, just click to continue to the website. Other browsers won't give you this issue. Once you're on that login page, you will use your relation number as the username, and then if it's your first time signing up, you need to designate a password. Otherwise, what you need to do is just simply log in. Once you've logged in, now you need to register your song. So you can either do that by clicking on Send Registration or on My Music that you'll find on the menu tabs at the top. Then you will click on New Notification. Then the portal will take you through the process of the 6 or 7 steps that you need to take to register your song. The first step is already decided for you, so then you can just click on Next, moving you to step number 2. On step number 2, you choose whether you're registering a commercial, a jingle, or a song, which they label as no assignment music, which in this case we will do. Then it will take you to the next step where you need to fill in all the information about the song title, as well as the duration in hours, minutes, and seconds, an alternative title if you have one, and then also the name of the artist plus the type of music and the genre. And remember to include the proper spelling of the artist, as this is important when you're submitting your songs to radio, that all the spellings correspond. Step number 3 is usually where they ask you to include some kind of instrumentation, but this is optional, so you can just click Next. Step 4 is where you enter all the information about the authors of lyrics or composers that are involved with the creation of the song. And this is probably the most important step. When you get to this step, your information will be automatically logged in. All that you need to do is fill out your percentage of the performance royalty and mechanical royalty. Now remember, in the last episode, I mentioned that they don't require you to enter the mechanical royalty information because this is handled by a different body, Capasso. But for online registrations, they are still asking you to include the information about mechanical royalty. Now, I was very unsure as to what that percentage would be, so I contacted the guys at Capasso, and what they said is, as a guideline, whatever your performance royalty split is, make it the same for your mechanical royalty. This will just make the process a lot easier, unless there's a different agreement in place where the mechanical royalties have to be different. But in usual cases, you make it the same as your performance royalty. Now, if you have, it gives you space for your information and then another composer or author. But if there's more of you, if there's more than 2 people involved in the creation of the song, all you need to do is click on the confirm buttons so that it logs that information, and more spaces will now be made available for you to enter the information of more composers or authors. All you need to do is fill in their name, their proper name as per their ID, plus what their role is in creating the song. They could either be an author or a composer, or composer and author. And remember that the percentage of the performance royalty as well as the mechanical royalty, they have to add up to 100% respectively. If there's a miscalculation, SAMRO will call up or give you an error message in order for you to correct your calculation. Step 5 is another optional step, because they ask you if you would like to upload a 192 kilobits per second MP3 copy of your song. You can do that, but it's optional. I usually leave it out because sometimes the website will give you issues with uploading, so I just click next to go to the next step. The next step is actually the final one, where you review all the information that you have included, and if you have made any errors, spelling errors, you have made a miscalculation with regards to the splits, somebody needs to get more or less, this is the opportunity for you to go back and edit that, and then come back to this step where you will either save the information that you've just entered and enter another song title that you want to register, or you can click on the option that tells you that you don't want to add more titles, save and send. And that is the full process. Usually this process is instant, and within a few days a work code will be generated giving you confirmation that your song has been registered. I prefer registering my songs online because it's instant, and also I don't have to waste any paper. In the next episode, we're going to deal with how to work out your royalty splits when it comes to performance royalty. But we'll do that in the next episode of Studio Talk. Please give me a thumbs up. Please comment if there's any information or any questions that you might have. And don't forget to subscribe, www.youtube.com/Inglisman.
Ooh, it's the Englishman.